Good morning. Hello, Diane. We'll see if anybody comes in. I just haven't been on in a while to chit chat. It's really not a lot to chit chat back. Diane, funny that you show up. In the whole time I've been on the internet on YouTube, I've gotten two strikes. One was from you, which you retracted. Thank you. And now I've gotten a strike from a woman in King Star's universe on a community post. It had no cuss words in it, no threats. Her name is Xylee Gets Real. Nothing about her is real. Nothing. And in reality, she got Savage fired from her job. Hey, Ninja Orchid. Now, everybody knows I'm not a Savage Live Media fan. Hey, K Bear's mama. I am not a Savage fan. But wrong is wrong. And Savage got fired for something stupid. And she really didn't deserve to be fired. Yeah, Savage went to fat camp. She got a little loosey goosey, gave a bear puss lap dance to her boss who paid her. But the whole reason behind Savage's firing was a comment that Savage made to Xylee. Hey, Tess. Something like, yeah, my pirates couldn't find anything on you. Do I think Savage probably tried to dig into Xylee's life? Yeah, probably. But there's no proof of that. And then Xylee turns around and says the exact same thing to a little girl, and I call her a little girl. Hello, Whistledown, Ninja Orchid. Xylee says the exact same thing Savage said to a girl who's interning in that universe, and nothing. Swept. I just cannot get over that bitch struck my community post. I don't care, but it's just kind of comical because if you ever watch the LCU, they break terms of service every time they hit the live button. Yeah, Sweet Pea was right. Sweet Tea or Sweet Pea? And again, I don't like Savage. K all it said was Xylee gets real. The fake is, I'll put it on my community post, but it said, Xylee gets real. The fakest of them all. And it didn't cuss. I said, you make the same threat Savage made. Savage gets fired. And something about, I hope Savage rips you limb to limb because Savage was going live. I could appeal it, Diane, but really, what's the point? It's just so comical that her name is Xylee Gets Real. And there's nothing real about this woman. Hold on. Okay. Am I back? I got somebody texting me. Well, I went over there, Ninja Orchid, because I got to be honest with you. All this crap in our little community, I mean, it's just, it's boring. I mean, you still got Laura talking shit about, you know, whoever. You got Makeup Mobster talking shit about Laura. Um, you know, the other day, Wendy V went live, and I thought, well, I'll go check that out. And I'm just watching, and Wendy V mentions my name a couple times, not in a bad way, but there's Pepper in the chat saying, Oh, don't Beetlejuice her. Well, they were talking about a fake screenshot that Behaven had used. And I'm sure Pepper didn't want me in the chat because she probably knew I was going to talk about the fake screenshot that they used against Lisa. Her and Kiki used against Lisa to try to get Lisa kicked out of Discord. Needless to say, I made my appearance and I made Pepper's day. And she's like, way to go, Tracy, mess up my whole day. Bitch, if I got that kind of power over you to mess up your whole day, Pepper. I'm waiting on the Brian Kohlberger, the Idaho 4, because the whole Karen Reed trial has just like pissed me off. I can't hardly even watch it. But as far as that LCU, the whole Keemstar thing over there, I just can't believe that weak bitch struck me. And like I said, I don't care that she struck me. It's not like my channel puts meat and potatoes on my table like Keemstar's channel does for her. The funniest thing is her co-host, Billy the Fridge, really can't hardly even stand her. You can just tell by the way they are together. She calls everybody a cunt. She's always raging about something. But Billy calls her one and she cries. Keemstar tries to tell her, hey, I think I'd like the show better if you all did it, A, B, C, or D. And she pouts. And again, she got Savage fired. And I don't like Savage. I don't know how many times I have to make that clear. But Savage got fired unjustly. I mean, that's just all there is to it, like her or not. It wasn't right. And then Keem thinks he can just snap his fingers and say, I ought to go bring Savage back. Why? Because when you do, if you could, because Savage has made it clear she doesn't want to go back, but if you could, she's going to go after Xylee, and Xylee's going to cry because that's what Xylee does. Yes, Savage got fired. After they all came back from Fat Camp, and Savage was one of them that just kept leaking secrets from Fat Camp. You know, Tina was selling this pill, and this Roxy was giving out this pill, and this and that and this and that. So all these secrets from Fat Camp starts coming out, and then Xylee got pissed and elaborated on right, whistle down. But Xylee got mad and elaborated on Savage's behavior at Fat Camp. And then she said to Keem that, oh, I didn't want to say anything, but at Fat Camp, this is like 4 or 5, 6 weeks later, she says, Savage said to me, and my pirates couldn't find anything on you. But she sat on it for 5 or 6 weeks. And then she turns around and did the exact same thing to an intern. And I'm going to call her a little girl because she's probably 20, who wants to be on one of these shows so bad she can't stand it. And Xylee says the exact same thing to her and says, and if I can't find nothing on you, my friends can. And nothing. It's all swept under the rug. The funny thing is Keem can't stand Xylee, but Xylee seems to think she's some kind of important person in his life. It's right, K-Bears. That's all Fat Camp was. A bunch of fatties drinking and making bad choices. Yes, that's exactly. Hey, Kirby Barbie. And hey, to each their own. If that's what they want to do, is they want to pay, you know, $70,000 to rent out a camp and a bunch of fatties go and drink and get naked and give lap dances and whatever. You know, Keem says it was profitable. Whatever. No, they did very little weight loss anything. They destroyed a lot of property, but that's to be, you know, I mean, when you have 400-pound motherfuckers sitting all over your furniture and, you know, somebody carrying a ball bat around banging up all your furniture, I mean, I'm sure Keem had a pretty good sized bill. Well, he actually showed the bill. But, you know, like I said, that furniture was not meant to have, you know, 4 or 5, 600, 400-pound people sitting on the same fucking couch. And again, you know, Keem said it was profitable. I have no reason not to believe him. I don't care. It didn't go in my bank account, so I don't give a fuck if it was profitable or not. But every time they strike up a live in that universe, they break terms of service. Every single time. Some of the most disgusting things get said every single day. And Xylee wants to strike little old me. Can I say when? True, Xylee. True. Hello, Mrs. Fletcher. You know, again, wrong is wrong, right is right. And what they did to Savage was just wrong. Did Savage keep poking until the whole dirty dancing, snatch, rubbing, PayPal, Cash App getting situation came out? Yeah, she did. She kept poking and it came out. But that's not what Savage got fired for. Yes, Xylee struck me, struck down my community post. Wasn't a threat in it, wasn't anything. I just call her the fakest one in the universe. And I believe that. So, really, you want to belong to an organization or whatever as big as the LCU, and you want to be petty enough, bitch, to strike little old me? Well, remember, Xylee, every time you motherfuckers go live, every single time you go live, you break terms of service one way or another. Yes, Tess, I remember. That whole universe over there is it's mentally destructive to some of the people that work for Keemstar. It really is. Well, you know, the thing about Savage is first, you know, she when she first broke away, she had a panel, she had a live stream, she had a panel. Let me tell you the story about OT Pack. We're in chat over at the Universe one day. I don't even know which show. And probably Queens, because that's about the only one I can stomach is Queens and the low cal universe, Jenny Hansen. And occasionally live sucks since they got rid of Wings and Rastoff is on there, but whatever. You know, it's the only universe I know that has a low cal Aussie, and not one of the motherfuckers are Australian. But okay. So I'm in chat one day in T-Pack, you know, T-Pack, Savage's friend. And I refer to him as Chevy because that's what he came to YouTube as. And he starts screaming in the chat. She doxed me. She doxed me. The truth just doxed me. That's my real name. Now, who would have ever thought this man's name was fucking Chevy? I know it's cold. It's chilly here, too. So he pitches this big stink that I doxed him. And the next thing I know, that's exactly Savage calls him Chevy. He's up on her panel under Chevy, but tries to get me in all kinds of trouble in this chat saying that I doxed him. T-Pack, you're a pussy. And you're a lying pussy at that. Yeah. He's your friend. Well, okay, that's cool, Diane. He's your friend, but he's a lying pussy friend because I didn't dox him. And he's up on Savage's panel under the name Chevy. She's referring to him as Chevy, but he cries in an LCU chat saying I doxed him. Get the fuck out of here. Well, he told me that's his real name, that's his God given name is Chevy. Now, who would have thought that? You came to YouTube like that, and who would have thought your mother named you Chevy? But he threw a big old hissy, whatever. I got called out. The person, you know, is someone doxing? Where's the dox at? I'll get rid of it. I'll block that person. Oh, hell no. I didn't dox you, dumbass. But that's what he tried to do. So what? Again, I don't even really care about the strike that Xylee struck me. As a matter of fact, I find it kind of humorous that somebody that pretends to be this badass on a screen cowers from Savage, literally cowers down from her, and then strikes me because I call her fake. To me, it's kind of fucking comical. Whistle down. It ain't even. It was a community post. It ain't even worth. But what they don't understand is when you start striking little channels like this, the people like me are the ones that support your Keemstar's channels that, like Rewind and Queens and Milkers and, Locale Live and, well, can't even say, I don't even look at those other channels. Cafe is the most boring fucking shit I've ever heard in my life, whether Beans is there or not. Ken is as entertaining as a rock. Hello, two sides of the same coin. Talisa. But when you start striking, and Keemstar would never, ever even 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 bother with the ink to strike me. Oh, Ken definitely has a hate boner for Becky. After what I saw them do to Becky yesterday. Oh, okay. Yeah, you can't have free speech in the LCU. But after what I saw them do to Becky yesterday, and I'm glad, I had to click out because I cannot handle all the screaming. I cannot handle a panel of just screaming. But I'm glad Becky fought back. And you know what? Keem, no matter how you feel about this man, I've said it before, he's an evil fucking genius. And there's a reason he likes Becky, and it's because Becky doesn't bow down to him. It's because he is mentally matched with Becky. It is a challenge for Keemstar, and Keemstar will take a challenge every single time. I don't care what it is. The fact that what they were saying about Roxy's husband was, pretty freaking ridiculously gross, stupid. But you got Roxy who lies about everything. Hey, Puss in Boots. I know, K Bears. I know. Rewind last night got more donos and more gifted memberships on nothing more than people hating Becky. That's it. So, Xylee, you can't make shit, but Becky can. I don't blame Becky for fighting back. She made it right. She apologized to Roxy. Everything was said and done with. And then Keemstar, the ultimate shit stirrer, the night before, Keemstar told everybody, 4,000 people, to go into Becky's chat and call her a racist. Now remember, this is Keemstar, who literally told people years ago to go to a black man's channel and call him the N word. I don't think Savage will ever go back either. I can't say that I blame her. If she did, it would be a revenge thing, and Keemstar's going to have his hands full. Because if Savage ever did go back, and I don't think she will, I mean, that's kind of embarrassing what got put out about her. Sorry, Savage. Learn how to behave when you go out into public. Don't take your panties off around your coworkers. But with that being said, I'm sure Savage wasn't the only one that acted like that. Roxy is the most manipulative. I've tried and tried and tried when it comes to Roxy, and I just can't. She is the most manipulative person I have ever met. I'm the mother of a recovering addict. I hope he's recovering. He's clean. And I have seen manipulation in every way, shape, or form. And Roxy takes the cake. You got Ernie Shell after you. See, I don't even know how to find his channel. I did go over and listen to The Asylum, Billings, Steve Billings, and them, Mark Terry. I don't listen to Mark Terry, but just so happened Steve Billings was going at him that night. She didn't quit. Roxy did not quit. She can't quit. Her sister was literally over in Savage's live, begging Savage to help Roxy get away from the LCU, that she wants to leave, but she's under an NDA. I have all those screenshots. Begging Savage. Roxy brings her personal business to the internet and then cries when somebody talks about it. And Roxy lies about everything. It's just like her first day at OBS. Okay, she's going to make mistakes. That's understandable. It's not a big deal. But instead of just making the mistakes and finding her way, she has to lie and say she accidentally ate her daughter's or granddaughter's or whoever's edibles. Right. Grown adults signing NDAs for YouTube. Right. Grown adults, grown sisters run into an ex coworker like Savage begging her to save Roxy is even funnier. I know. Thank you, Two Sides. But then I thought, when I kind of got away from the drama community because, well, I mean, there's just it's it's so repetitive. You know, Flava and Jenny Jin restreaming Bombshell, running to Rumble to say what they can't say on YouTube, whatever. Um, Bombshell talking about the people that left her support, whatever. The people that left her support talking about Bombshell, whatever. I don't even tune in to Laura or Makeup Mobster or any of them anymore. I just don't. Somebody did ask me if I was going live about Laura's feet pics. Is she really selling feet pics? Laura, don't do that, man, because I saw your feet and they're not that pretty. Whose channel? Oh, no. Savage's channel will. I mean, last night was proof that it's, her first live after leaving the LCU. She had 1,000 people in there. Uh, in case people haven't noticed, views are down everywhere on YouTube. Views are down everywhere. It's springtime. People are hanging on to their money. The economy is like, groceries alone, housing, people's taxes on their homes and shit has skyrocketed, because they've, it's just people are hanging on to their money and their time. Sidebar, Ernie got monetized on his channel that's under another person's name. He is triggered thinking is making $1 million off ad revenue. He is delusional. No, you don't make any. No. Yeah, schools are letting out. People are going to start going on their summer vacations, their weekends on the lake. I can't wait. Sadly, it's only 50 degrees here today. We were in the 80s, but had tornadoes spinning all around us for a week. So the cold front came in and it's in the 50s. I woke up to, I mean, I've had a hell of a morning. I was in tears by 7 o'clock. The big dog went to the vet yesterday, got put on a $130 antibiotic and for a urinary tract infection. And I say the big dog, but Maggie's big too, but Sam's a little taller. I get up this morning, I peek in the living room. There's 3 big piles of dog throw up. And Maggie has counter surfed, got that bottle of antibiotics down, and from what I could see, ate them. So immediately I burst into tears. My life is like I Love Lucy. I swear to God. If you all just heard some of my stories. So I'm freaking out. It's 7 o'clock. There's no vets open to find out what I need to do. The nearest animal hospital is over in Louisville, but I really don't want to fork out $3,000 for them to do what I can do at home. So I'm Googling. Luckily, I do keep activated charcoal for dogs around. Left the house for the first time the other day, youngest nephew's graduation. Aw, good for you. So I'm in the floor. My shoulder Yeah, Tess, I thought about that, but then she had already thrown up 3 times. Of course, I didn't do a DNA test to see if it was Sam that threw up or if it was Maggie that threw up. I can almost guarantee it was Maggie that got the pills down because she's my counter surfer, never dreaming she would do medicine. Even had it tucked back behind something. But either way, so I'm freaking out. I'm in the middle of the living room. I'm bawling. Tears are running down my face. Um, I'm cleaning up piles of dog throw up. Um, spraying it down with Resolve and whatever. I'm trying to see what she's acting like. And oh, girl, I'm getting samples of my medicine from my doctor. My medicine's $800 a month, one inhaler. But Trump is supposed to change all that. We'll see. Um, so I'm Googling, I'm cleaning up dog throw up. Maggie's not speaking to me, which pretty much tells me she's the guilty party because Sam's just looking at me like, what's that? Maggie has turned her back on me. And anytime she gets caught doing something ornery, she just turns her back on me, won't look at me, nothing. So I'm pretty sure it was Maggie that took the pills. Remember, right. You're always asking your puppy, yeah, what's in your mouth? Yeah. Times are tough, Curry. So, then I remember, okay, I have that activated charcoal um, that I got I mean, Maggie will be 4 in January, you all. This is not a puppy anymore. So I have that activated charcoal. She's already thrown up 3 times. I'm thinking at least I'll get that in her and it will absorb it from going into the bloodstream. I hope. I did it. She's not got any symptoms of an overdose. I've looked them all up. How quickly will I see it? It's just like, good morning. Welcome to the world, Tracy. I mean, you would think by the time they're 4, this is medicine. This is not goodies. These aren't chewables. They're not flavored. These are pills that I have to literally. Oh, yeah, she threw up 3 times. But then I'm sitting there cleaning it up thinking, oh my God, what if this is not Maggie throwing up? This is Sam's throw up because I didn't see who threw up. And the pills are just not agreeing with him because he took them last night before bed. But I'm fairly certain it was Maggie. Either way, neither one of them is acting strange. I pray to God she's okay because I will just curl up next to her if something happens to her. But when I look online and see that the vet is going to give her activated charcoal, and I've got activated charcoal in my cabinet for dogs, and she's already thrown up. I mean, I could see the pills in the. I know, it's so gross. Why am I even talking about this? But it's my life. It is my life. And of course, my brother comes through. They were his dog's antibiotic. And I'm sitting in the middle of the floor crying, tears streaming down my face. And I was like, go get some money out of the safe because I have a little bit of money in the safe, not much, and get him a new antibiotic because he still has to get well, even though Maggie decided to eat his medicines. I hope so, Mandy. I hope she got it all up before it. She's acting fine. She's playing with the toy. She's not speaking to me because she thinks she's in trouble. which she kind of was in trouble this morning, but I felt guilty yelling at her because, oh my God, what if something happens? And her last memory of me is yelling at her. But then I'm clicking through my Gmail and I see where Xylee struck my community post. And I was like, oh my God. I mean, the least of my worries, obviously, that Xylee, thin-skinned Xylee. And I'm thinking, here I am, this little peon over here with what? A little over 4,000 subs. Hey, Sinin. Hey, Bolo. Right? I don't know if I'm allowed back over there, Bolo. Xylee struck my community post. Bolo is my partner in crime over at the LCU because guess what? We're not so mentally disabled that we don't comprehend what's going on. No, Bolo. I woke up after cleaning up my dog's. You'll have to rewind. And I'm going through my email because I'm looking for something for a upcoming surgery I'm having. And we have removed your, and it was a post. All the post said was Xylee Gets Real is the fakest of them all. And I saw where Savage was going live last night. And I will reiterate this as many times as I need to. I do not like Savage. But I said, I hope Savage rips you limb from limb because I don't care what you say. What she did to Savage getting fired over Xylee's feeling threatened. And it would have been okay if Xylee would have come forward as soon as Savage said it, because I have no doubt Savage probably did look her up. But she kept it in her pocket for 5 or 6 weeks, and I don't like that. You don't keep something in your pocket for 5 or 6 weeks and then bring it out. You don't do that. That's dirty. But my post had no cuss words, no threats, no nothing. And this from a community who breaks TOS on a daily. Yes, Xylee. Savage did talk about Xylee last night. Bolo, I could not even imagine being in that uh that Discord over there. Uh, do you see the people they bring up on panel? Could you imagine surrounding yourself with them on the daily? And again, what they did to Becky yesterday, hopefully Savage will realize getting fired. I think Savage is fine. I mean, yeah, do I think her feelings are hurt? Yeah. Should she have kept her drawers on at Fat Camp and not gotten a lap dance from her boss or not given her boss a lap dance? Yeah, probably. Probably. But the whole, Xylee felt threatened, but she sat on it for 5 or 6 weeks. No, that's bullshit. And I think Keemstar knows it's bullshit. So for him to even throw it out in the universe, maybe maybe I should get Savage back. Well, first of all, I don't think Savage would go back. I mean, she's kind of been humiliated by her own doings. But I mean, I just don't think it's that hard to go to an employee function and keep your damn pants on. Of everything I've ever done in my life, I've never had a problem with that. Do I think Savage was the only one running around in hoe mode? No. No, I don't. Right, Mandy. I don't think Savage was the only one running around in hoe mode. Well, I'll tell you what. I There's so many of them that's gross that I don't know, Mandy. But you know what? Like I said before, they're fascinating. No, I didn't give her a hard time about the dance either. Hey, Amanda T. Because I don't believe Savage was the only one getting drunk and doing that. She just happened to be the one that Xylee went after, and Xylee did the most. Well, Bolo, to be honest, hey, yeah, to be honest with you, I think Billy's over Xylee. Um, right, two sides. I think Billy is totally over Xylee. He probably doesn't have the heart to tell her that. Um, I personally think Billy should have got the third spot on live, but and then Boogie could have continued to be King's lapdog instead of now Rastoff, who's boring as fuck. She's always pouting, Bolo. She can call everybody under the sun a cunt, but let somebody call her that. I watched it for like 20 minutes last night, and Billy, who's just making joke after joke after joke, not really defending Becky, but making it clear that Becky is the entertainment. And Xylee sitting there going, whatever, 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 whatever. Bitch, this is your co host. Talk to him. But of all the haters Xylee has, she wants to strike little old me. Bitch, please. Yes, it's like you can't turn away. It's like a train wreck over there. And Becky alone saved Milkers and Rewind last night, all by her big old self. I had somebody text me and say, I think Becky took this a little too far. I said, I fucking don't. Yeah, they were more upset over Becky being honest about Rastoff, all of that Discord group who went full throttle on Becky. Yeah. I mean, you got to remember what King did the night before. He sent $4,000 or 4,000 people, his crew, over to Queens to spam the chat, calling Becky a racist after he swept for Tina saying the N word at Fat Camp in front of 10,000 people. If you're not racist, the last thing you want to be tagged is racist. Well, that's just Ken trying to save Cafe. We all know that Ken has the personality of a freaking rock. And he makes it even worse when he goes into tough guy mode. It's even worse. Hey, Sammy. Oh, thank you. I, Rachel, um, do you go to the LCU? Because it seems like I saw you at super chat or something, and somebody couldn't pronounce your name. Maybe not. I don't know. Wait a minute. I've done lost my chat. Hold on. Don't leave. I mean, well, you can if something's going on. But hold on. Yeah, K Bears. It's the same. It's gonna be the Becky hate. The Becky hate. This is gonna be the hate Becky arc. and they're all going to make their money on Becky's back. And then they wonder why Becky loses her shit, which, don't get me wrong, I have to leave when they start screaming like that. I cannot handle it. Hold on, I got to refresh because I've done lost my chat. You want to make fun of my military? You want to make fun of my PTSD? Oh. Well, I guess you missed it when Savage said, fuck the American or the Pledge of Allegiance and Star Spangled Banner. I guess you missed that part, Ken. Oh, that's right. It wasn't Becky that said it. Hold on. This is pissing me off. I don't even see the refresh, but hold on. Oh, no. I see a lot of these names in chat. I agree with them too. Yeah. I mean, you can only, the tards, and that's not my word. They call people retards. It's so funny. I see these Gene Lewis, spurging out in chat. I love Tina. Tina does no wrong. Are you kidding me? Tina does nothing. She just sits there with her legs spread wide fucking open, grunting, telling the world how famous she is. That's it. The Tina simps are probably some of the most challenged ones I've seen. But here's what pisses me off. They do this shit to Becky. And then when they decide, okay, we've had enough fun, it's still Becky suffering the consequences of it. Stop, guys. Stop. And that's what pisses me off. It's still Becky that suffers the consequences of it. People were calling Truth a troll. Of course, because they don't like it when I write. But you know how many trolls they have over there, and they somehow pick me out? Me, little old me. They pick little old me. Little old 4,000 never goes live. Me. I sent a super chat one time, and it irritated Keem so bad. I'm sorry, it was funny. It was funny. I paid $19.99 to send that. Well, probably more than that because they charge you. Well, Sammy, I would agree with you, except Tina constantly throws Becky under the bus. Constantly. She sits up there like she's got Becky's back until Keem's little music goes off and he pops into, and then Tina's just like, yeah, Keem, I tried to tell her, Keem, tried to tell her. You can't, if you can't do that to people. You can't be like that. Roxy is the most manipulative person I've ever seen. Never in my life have I accepted someone's apology and then figured out I could make a dime off of it and go into a chat and start crying and say, fuck their apology. Shut up, Roxy. If you weren't the known LCU liar, Well, that's exactly what she sounds like, Puss in Boots. She literally sits on a broken couch with her legs spread apart, with her gunt hanging out. I'm Tina D. I'm over here sweating my ass off. I'm over here. You know, it's all she does is tell everybody how great she is. I don't have to run OBS. This show was made for me. Okay, Tina, let's say it was made for you. When it fails, you can own that too. Bet you don't. Hey, Captain Avi. Y'all really, if you don't watch it, you need to at least just be a lurker because you will be sucked in so quick with these people. Yeah, Keem, I'm advertising your LCU. You know, where your little thin skinned Xylee gets real. True. Um, she said she didn't see it after she said she watched it herself. Of course, Bolo. But see, this is the problem I have with Roxy. Okay? She brings all of her personal life into a universe made of trolls. And then when things get out, because you're in a universe of trolls, like I said, the whole instead of just admitting that she's just learning OBS and bear with her, she has to lie and say she accidentally ate a handful of edibles. So her excuse was, I'm so high, guys. I'm so high, guys. I'm so high. Roxy needs an inhaler because after I listened to her yesterday, she really needs some sort of inhaler. She's wheezing bad. What happened to Amanda T? Oh, I'm sorry, Amanda, that you was raised by people like this. Right. So Roxy is always lying. And then I call her on her lies. And they don't like that. Keemstar of all people wants to sit up there and say, because it brings in the donos to hate Becky. This is a man who wished cancer on his entire fan base and their mothers. Right, Bolo. Heather, you just have to every one of their shows has LOL Cal, local in front of it. So if you want to watch the main show, that's local live. And then the spin-off shows are like local milkers, local queens. The other ones aren't worth watching, but you'll find them. Yes, Keemstar, the real one. Is there a fake Keemstar? Oh, Boogie being offended by anything is funny. I mean, this is a man who just said GD while praying. I don't think I've seen desperation until they go live in the middle of their, well, it won't be their second biggest show now because Keem's going to make sure of that. Hence why Rewind did so well last night. But they go live in the middle of Queens, which was their second biggest show, to film a possible tornado at Boogie's house. I guess they didn't realize that half the country was under tornado watches that day. I don't know, Heather. I mean, Keemstar acts as if people doesn't know his past. And maybe he doesn't care. But for him to make this big hate Becky arc because she said a mean joke, which Tina totally participated in. No, he does not have the best reputation. But I will continue to say he is an evil genius. No, he can't read and probably not good at writing. So he's not book smart. But when it comes to building a channel, he's an entertainer. You know, Sammy, I think they're ready to part ways with Mike, and they're going to use everybody in the process to do it. I mean, I don't know. Keemstar, I know you're not listening, but Xylee, since you seem to follow my channel, maybe you can listen. Maybe handing out strikes to little peons like me that actually support your damn channels for nothing more than the truth. Maybe don't do that because it makes you look petty as fuck. Not real. And yes, I'll post it on my community post. The ones who went nuts all have issue with Mike's humor. Yeah. So is Savage a part of this? Not anymore, Heather. She was. She was on the one show called Milkers, but I'm gonna say it again. She got fired over petty ass Xylee. For everything you could fire Savage over, they chose the dumbest thing. And she went to fat camp, an employee get together, and got drunk and showed her hoo ha, and charged her boss $100 to see her hoo ha. And yes, Savage, it's true. You did it. Get over it. I'm sure you weren't the only one. You just happened to be the only one that got paid to do it. And I didn't join in all of that. The whole Savage showed her hoo ha to Mike and all that because, you know, I didn't think it needed to be content for a week. You done humiliated the woman. Okay, she humiliated herself, but she did it in private or semi private. But now you're going to make content over it. And then when Savage strikes back, Keen goes over there and tries to powder it, put a little powder on it. Sally's a weak bitch. A weak bitch who, whether you like Billy the Fridge or not, she's holding him back. Billy should have got that third spot on live. Billy should have got that, not Rastoff. But it almost felt like yesterday that King was purposely going out of his way to destroy the Queen's channel. And I think it's because of Mike, not necessarily because of Becky. And it's sad that Becky has to take all the heat. If you got a problem with Mike Green, take it up with fucking Mike Green. Hey, Cosmic. No, I didn't want to join in on it, Sammy. I mean, I hated that any woman would be humiliated like that on YouTube, even if I don't like you. You know, there's a lot that goes on over there that I just don't participate in because it's wrong. At least Billy acknowledged last night that Becky was the one making them all the money. Xylee tried to sit there and pretend like they're so good when Zeta Ray had already come into chat and said, check us out on Rewind. This is all Keem's doing. Keem is behind all of this. And to be honest with you, Keem, you're fucking gross the way you treat Becky. And I don't blame her for coming back at your neck. No, it's okay to like Xylee. But Xylee is a fake, thin-skinned bitch. She ran from Savage. Well, if you can't handle Savage, then maybe you shouldn't be in the LCU sitting on a panel talking about how tough you are. I like Billy too, but I can tell you that Xylee is holding him back so much that even I'm not even finding Billy entertaining anymore because he can't be. Because anything he says, because Billy's one of those people that has that dark humor about him, anything he says, Xylee sits back, crosses her arm, and pouts about it. Xylee and I were in the same group when we couldn't, and Keem. Well, I mean, I knew when Xylee went to work for Keemstar that she wasn't Xylee Gets Real because Xylee spent her time on YouTube calling people like Keemstar out. There's nothing real about Xylee. But I put that to the side and thought, okay, I'm going to give her a chance because, the money's good. Um, you know, get your grift on. But every time I go into Rewind, she's doing nothing but sitting there complaining, whining and bitching. And it's sad that she's actually holding Billy back from his potential as a YouTuber, as a podcaster, because he has to tiptoe around her feelings. No, drunk Xylee is even worse than sober Xylee. She goes on to panel after panel where she's not wanted, but nobody has the balls to tell her they don't want her there. Oh, yeah, the whole I'll never have anything to do with Mike. I'll never go on any. That all crumbled. I thought that was bullshit too. They made money off of Mike's real life situation. But you know what? Mike would have done it to them too. So I didn't join in on that either. Because I thought, really? You're all going to basically say this man is a pedophile 15 plus years after him and his young bride was married. And you got Boogie, who dates a woman who's barely of drinking age, if she's even hit that mark yet. And he's a 50-something-year-old man. You got Keem, who's 50-something, late 40s, 50s, and his woman's early 20s. But y'all want to make a big deal about what Mike Green did 16, 17 years ago. Fuck out of here. I didn't participate in that either. Yeah, yeah, Heather, they make good money. I mean, to be a YouTuber, to just sit there for 2 hours a day. I mean, I'm not breaking NDA. I never signed an NDA. I would wipe my ass on that NDA. Hence why I never, everybody's like, go try out for milkers. No, no, no. Because number one, there's no price tag on my morals. And number two, I'm not going to last very long because I'm not going to be a fake bitch. And the only reason Keemstar has you sign an NDA because he talks about money all the time. So it can't be about money. It's because you got to keep his little secrets that it's all scripted, that it's all, uh, manufactured drama, just like the whole Becky shit. Well, you know what? I don't blame Becky for finally fucking snapping. And they can call me a Becky simp if they want. They don't know how many times I've been in that chat and told Becky, fuck, quit screaming, man. You sound like an idiot. But what I'm not is I'm not stupid. And unless you're stupid and throwing them money, they don't want you. I just found it quite comical that little old me could get under Xylie's skin so easily. Becky has grown on me too. And I'll tell you why. Because number one, Becky's not perfect, far from perfect. But number one, her quick comebacks are funny as fuck. She has an entertainment value to her, similar to Keemstar. And for every situation that comes up in the LCU and they find a way to turn it on Becky, it's like Becky showing up at Fat Camp. That was all planned. Every bit of that. Wings busted that out. Well, actually, Tina busted it out. Roxy busted it out. And then Wings busted it out. But all that was planned. Now, the fact that Becky chose to shave her head to stay in that universe, that's on her. I found it quite humiliating. But you know what I also found? I found it gross that Keemstar would even fucking agree to that. Because what man would make that an okay situation to get your job back? Of everything Becky could have done, Becky started telling King 2 weeks before Fat Camp she didn't want to go. She made up some stupid excuses to not go to Fat Camp. They were stupid. She didn't want to go. I have never worked for an employer who, if I went to them and said, I know you're all having the golf outing 2 weeks from now or whatever, but I can't go. That would have been the end of it. But King knows Becky brings the money. He's not stupid. Everybody's saying, oh, Becky's got something on King. No, she doesn't. She doesn't have anything on King. What she's got is entertainment value, something that very few people in the LCU have. And King is not stupid. He recognizes that. But I'm sorry, what they did to Becky these last couple days, and then to have somebody fucking text me and say, yeah, Becky has taken this too far. No, she hasn't. I mean, I have to tune out because I can't handle all the screaming. But no, she hasn't. Yes, he definitely should have used Becky in a different capacity. Becky's going to make him money regardless whether she's bad Becky, good Becky, upside down, spitting jelly beans out her ass Becky. She's going to make Keemstar money. But for going back to Fat Camp, them paying her to come to Fat Camp, now trying to make the crowd believe that Becky just showed up unwanted. Nobody wanted Becky there. Yeah, you did. You bought her fucking ticket. The people that are obsessed with Becky's house, to me, it just screams. To me, it screams mental deficiency. Why would anybody care about the shape of another person's home? But when you know for a fact that it bothers her, because along with hoarding comes mental illness, but they don't care about mental illness. They don't care about mental illness. They don't, the more mentally ill you are, the more fun Keem has batting you around. Is Becky innocent? No. Has Becky done shit? Yep. She ain't done nothing any worse than what these other motherfuckers have done. Boogie has gotten rich off faking cancer because he has no more entertainment value than that. Boogie's spurging out on every show. But now I will say, with Rastoff there, it takes the heat off Boogie. But here's the thing with Rastoff. Not only is Rastoff not entertaining, is he getting better? Yeah, I think he's getting better. He's loosening up a little bit. I mean, he's damn sure not as boring as Ken. But Rastoff is not going to do the whole, the crazy getting Boogie tattooed on his ass kind of stuff. He might get the tattoo, but he's going to make sure it's tasteful a little bit and it'll go where he wants it. And he'll only do that because he's making bank. And see, that's the kind of shit I would not do for no amount of money. Are you going to make me get a tattoo of some fucking loser like Boogie? And then the day of tryouts, oh my God. I see people show up in the chat that I have never seen over there, ever. Yes, Rastoff does collect the Discord degenerates. Yes. It just tells me Rastoff has no real life because from what I'm told, I'm not in that Discord. It would not behoove me or them for me to be in their Discord. But it just proves that, all I hear is Rastoff's in that Discord 24 fucking 7. This man lives clear across the fucking world. You got nothing? You got nothing? Oh my God. See, I guess Maggie's okay. Thank God. But the people I saw show up in in that Milkers tryout chats, fucking Cluminati. Are you kidding me, Clue? You're the biggest real lifer there is. Sammy, I did not see an ounce of talent show up in those tryouts. I mean, I'm just going to be honest with you. I did not see one talented person show up in those tryouts. Oh, Captain Ivy, she got into Sam's antibiotic. I spent the morning cleaning up dog throw up and pumping activated charcoal down her throat. She seems fine. Oh, the tryouts were horrible. And bringing in these little girls, and I'm going to call them little girls, like Sweet Tea, Pigtails. These are little, Sweet Tea worships Keemstar, like worships. Yeah, I think she's going to be okay, Bolo. She seems to have thrown up most of it. And then, like I said, I gave her the activated charcoal for her to try to absorb even more. I hope she'll be okay. I mean, she's acting fine. She doesn't have any of the symptoms of overdose except she threw up. So, but this country bumpkin from Podunk fuck, fucktown worships Keemstar. All she wants to do is talk to Keemstar, the famous Keemstar. So, of course, Keem takes a liking to her because, well, she worships him. Keem takes a liking to anybody that worships him. She has not an ounce of talent. None. And I'm not blaming her for that. Yeah, sweet tea. I'm not, putting her down, but I would think that Keemstar would pull her to the side and say, I don't really think you're cut out for this right now. Maybe hang around a while and see how we roll. But instead, he takes these little girls and he throws them in the mix of you know, some real battles. And right, exactly, Bolo. Sweet Tea doesn't know any better. That's like when she was talking about how she'd like to have a slave, and so inappropriate. But yet she's trying to be cunning. She's trying to be on the edge. She's trying to do this. She's trying so hard. Pigtails is trying so hard. She had her family donating for her to dump mustard on her head. Just King, come on, dude. When these little girls come in infatuated over you, pull them to the side in your Discord and explain to them they're not ready for the big leagues yet. Or better yet, throw them all over there on some waste of a channel like Cafe and let them get used to running OBS and being on camera and talking smack. And then peek in on them occasionally and pick out the real talent, if there is any. But I got to feel sorry for Sweet Tea. I can't help it. I have to feel sorry for her because she was just thrown into the wolves. And this pigtails, every time she comes on panel, she says, I was told to. Everything that Roxy and Becky and them get in trouble for saying, Pigtail says it every time she pops up on panel. I was told to. The higher ups told me to. Well, the only higher up is Keemstar. I don't know. Like I said, it just, if you watch it somehow or another, maybe because our community is so dead that I just got sucked into it over there. But I also think, I spent almost my entire adult life being an entertainer. I had to entertain people while I was taking their money. I was on stage basically 5 to 6 days a week for 20 plus years. So I think I have an eye for entertainment. Could be wrong. Could be totally wrong. Maybe I don't have an eye for entertainment. Thanks, Puss in Boots, and good luck. I'm not worried about it. There ain't nobody gonna come in here. If they do, I'll just shut it down. It ain't like Xylee and her people are gonna come over here and face me. No, she'll just be a bitch and strike me. But like I said, it's like I tried to tell Roxy, you're trying too hard. You're trying way too hard. If you're naturally a funny person, that will come across. You don't need. Yeah, you have to pay to chat. You can't chat for free. You have to pay to get in their Discord and all that. Love you too, Puss in Boots. Do it, Diane. Yes, Sammy. She really struck me. I woke up, like I said, I woke up this morning to a throat who I'm scared she might have overdosed on antibiotics of the other dog. So I'm trying to deal with all that, get all the messes cleaned up, um, get some charcoal down her, just, trying to watch her, make sure she doesn't seize or anything. And I'm just scrolling through and I check my email over a surgery I'm supposed to have coming up. And boom, there, we have removed your content. And it was a community post to Xylee. And it didn't say shit. It didn't have a cuss word in it. It didn't have a threat in it. Nothing. And I thought, you thin skinned bitch. You want to sit over there and act like you're all big and bad and you're tough and you strike little old me? Get the fuck out of here. And she wonders why the majority of her chat can't stand her. I rarely even type in rewind because I don't like Xylee. And Diane, I think the reunion would be fun, but I think you would have to reach out to a lot of different people. I mean, people outside of your comfort zone. I think you would have to reach out to, say, like Laura, Makeup Mobster, and they might tell you go fuck yourself. I don't know. Randy, she probably would tell you go fuck yourself. Um, well, let me take it back. Wendy would tell her to tell you to go fuck yourself. But I would love for our community to get rocking and rolling again. Get me the hell away from that LCU. But I don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening. I really don't. And I just can't. I can't listen to Jenny Jen Jen talk about Bombshell day in, day out. I just can't. There is nobody on this platform that is interesting enough to go live about every single day of your life. Plus, I think Jenny Jen Jen's a really a fake fuck. I do too, two sides. I miss the old drama community. But you know what? It's not like that anymore. These people, these people nowadays that call themselves the drama community, they're evil. I mean, right, Bolo? I mean, they be digging up your dead relatives and stuff. Things that the drama community always stood against. I said it the other day. We might not have liked each other, but when it came to it, we all had each other's back. If somebody did something outrageous, which is nothing compared to what goes on nowadays, but yeah, they got ostracized for a while, but now all the real, yeah, the going real life on people, it just, it just amazes me. And they all do it. There's no pointing your finger at one individual or two individuals. They all do it. That's what I said. I think I was in Jones's chat the other day. And I was like, do people not grow and learn from their behavior on here? It is normalized now, and that's sad. I said it before when I was going right, Bola, which is why I can't handle Jenny Jen Jen, which Jenny Jen Jen goes real life too. That's been proven. I think Stellar put the proof out about that. But you don't want to hang out in those chats because then you're going to start getting recognized and you're going to piss somebody off. Well, I'm going to piss somebody off because I always piss somebody off. Every time I chat somewhere, I've managed to piss somebody off. But yeah, I'm just not that interested in your great uncle John went to jail for being a predator in 1968. Yeah, Diane. I mean, I can at least say that with the LCU. I mean, they're totally against going in real life. They say, let's go IRL all the time. And I'm like, oh, don't say that. Somebody will start shitting themselves. But what they mean is doing streams outside of the. Hello, Polka Dot Suzanne. But I will say that that community is totally against going in real life. And I do like that about them. They definitely keep it on the internet. Oh, yeah. Natasha Cooper's back. I peeked in on her. You know, I had to wave the white flag basically with her because she went in real life on my kid. And when it gets to that point, that's when you just kind of draw back and say, you know what, my kid don't deserve this. You're a piece of shit. I'm done. But the first time I go into Natasha's, she tells this bullshit lie about a placebo chemo that was done on her, God rest her soul, deceased sister. And I was like, okay, you're just lying. Doctors don't do that. I don't know if Gentleman Jack's still with her or not. I mean, it's just the same on Natasha. And I personally think anybody that can support Save Robbie, they're just gross. Anybody that can support that man is just gross. I'm sorry. I don't mean to, if there's anybody in here that supports Robbie, but the shit I've heard that man say, I mean, there's someone that owes me well over 1,000 and promised to pay me back and won't even. Are you kidding me, Sam? I'm sorry that happened. Is that Natasha? You don't have to say, because I know you don't want anybody going in your real life. I don't blame you. I don't know. I don't want no part of those dirty bitches. I don't want no part of them. I just don't. So I found my way over to the LCU, and then to wake up this morning and see where that little thin-skinned huzzy Xylee, to me, Robbie is disgusting. The shit I've heard him say, and I know people go with him too. I get it. No, but she is well known here. Ooh. Well, I'm sorry that happened to you, Sammy. I mean, I don't know what. I said a long time ago for people to start watching their pockets and keeping their money to themselves. If these people get hungry enough on this fucking platform, they'll get a real job. And just watching these big channels that just exploded, watching them start to dwindle down to nothing. I did get a kick out of Granny's watching has me blocked, and I know you support Granny, Sammy, and that's okay. I don't care, but she has me blocked, and she goes over to the LCU, and I don't care that she does that either. But people were like, "You should try out, Jess. You should try out." Why? Jess is not a locale. Sorry, guys. Hey, Sergeant Blackrock. I had a phone call. I had to take it. But yeah, I done got sucked into the LCU, and now I'm a little salty because some big bad YouTuber like Xylee struck me, little old me. Huh. Tell us again, Xylee, how tough you are. But guys, I'm gonna get off of here. I appreciate you all coming in. I got to take care of some business. I'm gonna monitor Maggie really well because I've read up on all the signs of overdose, and so far so good. Hopefully she threw them up as soon as she got them down her, and hopefully the activated charcoal will help. But yeah, if you want to check out a freak show, go check out the locale community. But I will stand up for what's wrong and what's right. And what's wrong is what they've done to Becky. And like Becky or not, it's wrong. Just like Savage or not, I don't. But she lost her job over bullshit. If Keem would have said, "All right, anybody that showed their puss at Fat Camp is fired," then it would have probably been more than Savage. But that would have been one thing. But to get fired based on it gets on your nerves. I hear you. I have to click it off too, Sergeant Blackrock. When it starts to get screaming and just fake bullshit, I'm like, all right, I'm out. But the good thing is you can click off of it. It's not like you're really involved in it. Yeah, I'm sure they have a show running almost daily, Heather. Most of them are boring as fuck. Um, like Cafe, boring. Nerds, boring. Um, Most of them are boring as fuck until the evening. No, Maggie is a big dog, Cass. She weighs in about probably 85, 90 pounds. The whole bottle. He just got him yesterday, and he takes 2.5 every 24 hours. So whatever was left. But when I was cleaning up the throw up, I did see some of the pills in the throw up. So I know she didn't digest all of them. Yeah, I've got some pumpkin puree, or yeah, some canned pumpkin. So far, so good. Like I said, she got the activated charcoal. Um, she did throw up quite a bit. I'm hoping immediately after eating them, but I'm going to keep an eye on her and get on with my day. But Xylee, girl, you ain't real. Stop. Oh, we're striking little old me. Yes, Maggie does weigh that much. She weighs in about 85, 90 pounds. Yep. That little foo-foo dog I was getting? Not so little foo-foo anymore. Yeah, I got canned pumpkin, so I'll put a video up of her sometime soon. Her $180 every 6 week hair salon is. But you know what? I knew what I was getting into when I got her, and she deserves that. She deserves the best life, and I think that's what broke me down into tears this morning. Is I don't want anything to happen to her, especially because of my negligence of leaving something out on the counter. What kind of dog is she? She's half English sheepdog, half standard poodle. So she's a sheepadoodle. Um, she's a good dog. I mean, I broke her of so many bad habits, but the counter surfing, I don't know that I'm ever going to break her of it. I bought the dog mouse traps where they don't actually hurt them, they scare them. That didn't phase her. Um, she just I have broken her of jumping on people, stuff like that. Of course, she has her basic manners of sit, lay down, you know, the basics. But I'm gonna keep an eye on her today. I'm gonna watch and see if she becomes lethargic or anything like that. I don't think she is. I hope not. You all right, Megs? Are you still mad at mommy? It's funny when she gets mad at me, because when Maggie gets mad at me or she's done something bad, she won't make eye contact with me. She'll like turn her back on me and won't look at me at all. It's like, damn, dog. I didn't do it. You did it. Yeah, she's pretty tough. I mean, hell, she survived the cinnamon rolls, the 6 raw cinnamon rolls, or however many she ate, which I was able to get those up out of her pretty quick. And then yeah, I don't know. She'll be all right. Just say your prayers for Maggie, and I will see you guys around the tubes. Xylee, quit being a punk bitch. All right. Bye, guys.